ladies and gentlemen and non-binary folks. It looks like Tetra still doesn't have that. I don't have your goodness, I'm trying to fix it now. It was from Velcomer. We can fix that in a second. You don't have your green screen on. That's the big thing. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nexus Gaming Series. This is our Nexus Division Grand Finals. I am so excited. I know you're excited to be here, Tetra. Why don't you talk a little bit about the teams while I fix this? How are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, and I will, of course, talk to you about our teams today. We are going to have Phoenix Rising Ruby on our left-hand side, and on our right, we are going to have Just Enjoy Breadman, which is honestly one of my favorite names in Heroes in general. But these two teams, very, very strong, thought long and hard to get here. I Just Enjoy Bread. They only dropped one map in the playoffs on the way here, and that was against Gilly Shark, whereas Phoenix Rising Ruby, they dropped theirs in round 2 against Bronze 6. So both these teams coming in pretty much equal in terms of playoff map losses.
Very good. Good to hear. All right, we should be all good to go. I'm going to bring everybody over to our map screen where you can see everything that has been updated. Reminder, this is a best of 5. We'll take a look at this as everybody is getting rocking and rolling, ready to go on Volskaya Foundry. I need to switch these because this is how it always happens, but that's all good. So as you guys can see, in a reverse order, well, I switched the colors because it wouldn't be a Jinxie cast if things weren't all technically up in flames, right? Right. The members of I Just Enjoy Breadman banned out Alterac Pass and Towers of Doom. The members of Phoenix Rising Ruby banned out Cursed Hollow and Dragonshire. Let's go ahead and update that bad boy. There we go. Phoenix Rising Ruby, of course, got our coin toss. They opted to go for first pick, so map was taken by I Just Enjoy Breadman, who are taking us to Volskaya Foundry.
Feels good. Should be a fun matchup to start with. Volskaya, of course, a lot of siege potential available for the map, so you can pick heroes like Zul'jin, who can get really good value, Chromie, anyone who can just siege the point and have a really good lot of effects there. Area control also gets value, so maybe next patch we'll see more Gazlo, although he's fallen out of meta a little bit, but he still has a lot of extra value. But overall, tank-wise, we're going to be seeing people who can stay on the point for extended periods of time, or teams will just try to abuse the Protector with heroes like Zul'jin.
Absolutely. The Protector has definitely changed as one of those heroes. And as we're talking about it, we'll hop on into that draft. One of those things where it's not necessarily worth it to grab all the time. So if we head on over to our draft screen, we'll see if something like Zul'jin is going to come out. Leoric is fantastic on the map for the same reason. And, you know, you might be thinking, Jinxie, why would you pick heroes that are good against the Protector? Don't you want the Protector? Well, if you did end up, you know, getting something like a Zul'jin, maybe like a Sonya, if you play your cards right, you can get even more done in that time period that the Protector is up than the Protector potentially can, especially that very first Protector.
Absolutely. Of course, there's also the strategy of just burning through the Protector, and Phoenix Rising, one of their highest picked heroes. In fact, their highest picked hero this season is Greymane. Great percentage damage, the ability to burn through the Protector. And then we're talking about the stacking heroes who could really get an advantage on the Protector. They played Zul'jin twice, have a 100% win rate with it, but they have played a lot of Cassia. 10 games of Cassia, who with that Lightning Fury level 1 talent could get a lot of stacks.
My blades are
We're actually going to see the Sonya completely ignored as their white man is going to be banned away here on the side of I Just Enjoy Breadman. Brightwing will be picked up by them as well, but Sonya going over to Phoenix Rising Ruby.
10 games played, 90% win rate. That is a 9-1 ratio. So that Sonya already very, very scary. There are a couple heroes who have a reasonable matchup into Sonya, those being Hogger, who is already removed, and Rexar being the other really big one due to the ability to stun out Sonya while she spins. Also very good for the objective in general, so that could be solid. Mephisto and Greymane, though, the damage output for Phoenix Rising is ridiculous here.
See, a lot of really good heroes there. Mephisto, definitely no newcomer to Volskaya Foundries. Really great on the point, just in the fact that they really can harass from a safe distance and get away. Getting those resets on that Lightning Nova allows them to jump in and out, no problem. So makes sense to have him here, as we're going to see Stukov banned away.
We've got a very sensible removal here with Sonya and Mephisto as a setup. A Endurance of Hate into a Lurking Arm and Sonya follow-up would just be absolute death. If not, the leap into that would still be a great setup, and the physical armor would make it very hard for I Just Enjoy Breadman to deal with Greymane. On the other side, the Cassia, very similar. Blinds into Greymane Sonya are going to be very effective, and of course she is just the highest picked assassin at this point, although not for I Just Enjoy Breadman, whose highest picked assassin, Chromie, has been removed. And after that, their assassins are a lot more spread out. They're going to go for Falstad. They're not going to go for Falstad, who is one of their higher picked heroes here, sorry. They're going to go for Sylvanas, who is much less played than some of their other options, but still gives a great push potential, and of course does have the potential for either Wailing Arrow to deal with Mephisto on the backline, or the Mind Control to try and catch him. And they went with Diva, who has an okay matchup into Sonya once she hits level 7.
Very strong hero, able to keep them in the fight, you know, rotate around, get that extra soak. We're going to see Anduin and Garrosh come out here from H2O and Danalore, as I think that's a really great pickup there. I mean, Right Wing already has been locked in. She doesn't offer much if you do happen to get thrown. And, you know, even if they were looking for some spicy double support over on the side of I Just Enjoy Bread, it's not going to be the Anduin who you typically think about saving you from that Garrosh.
Very true. The Brightwing's going to struggle there a little bit. The Hanzo will give them a reasonable matchup late game into Garrosh. Early game, it's going to be a little bit problematic. That Garrosh really smart here, because now they have three different easy light bomb targets. Sonya, if it goes leap, even Spear will work out. Mephisto can literally teleport into you with a light bomb. Greymane has a hard engage, and they technically could use Into the Fray to try and guarantee light bomb engages as well. Into the Fray Sonya to guarantee a stun, for example. They have a lot of really good options for setting up for that light bomb. I would love to say Salvation, because I love Salvation, but into a Hanzo, Sylvanas, Mei, Diva, Brightwing, I don't think we're seeing Salvation. Too much CC.
Yeah, you know, absolutely. We'll have to see what we're looking into as we head into game number 1. This is a best of 5. Remember, everybody, so plenty of Nexus games to come through today. I apologize if there were some chinks in the audio. I was setting up our soothsayer there, so we can make sure we have some really cool stuff going on for the players. Make this as special as it is going to be. And so without further ado, why don't we hop on over to game number 1. This is going to be our Nexus Series Grand Finals here over at NGS. On the blue side, we have the members of Phoenix Rising Ruby, with Mixels on that Sonya. Fragstyle are going to be your Mephisto. Giselio will be your Greymane. Daelenor on that Anduin, and H2O is your Garrosh.
And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks, it shall be I Just Enjoy Breadman, with Mundane Zebra playing that Hanzo. Nyquil on the Mei. Canny will be on Sylvanas. Gold Fortune on the Diva, and Lux Haze going to be playing Brightwing. Let's see who picks off, as we see a 4-man to start off with for the side of I Just Enjoy Breadman. Whereas the other team, Phoenix Rising, just splitting up early, but they're now unsplitting up to come to mid. Looks like they were just setting up to counter the Sylvanas push.
Makes sense. We always have to consider that there might be a little bit of cheese heading in here when there is a Sylvanas. Lots of value to be gained from taking one of those early towers, especially with those changes that we had. You know, it's been almost a year and a half now, and they added those XP globes. So getting that extra tower and that extra bonus XP can really add up over time. Thanks so much to everyone being here. We're seeing a lot of really friendly, familiar faces in chat, and I appreciate y'all being here hanging out with us on a Thursday evening.
Feels amazing, as we do see H2O getting harassed on the rotation. Has gone for that body check, that big anti-heal. Going to be very good as a setup, as an interrupt. Going to give them a good time here. We have that heat transfer for Mei getting nerfed in future patches. In fact, a lot of the heroes in this game are getting nerfed or changed. My personal favorite out of the heroes in this game is going to be Anduin. I'm really excited to see what they can do with him there.
I think Anduin changes coming up are the only ones that aren't making people go, oh god, why? As we move through. And then Vala, maybe. We're going to see a little bit of a harassment here as we head out. Of course, it's all about getting that soak for these teams. Hanzo stacking up nicely on that simple geometry, has 6 out of 20 of those stacks ready. And over on the side of Phoenix Rising, we've got Mephisto with the unyielding power coming through and stacking up with 8 there.
With a Skull Lightning build, a little bit rarer for Mephistos, but still cool to see. Can build into some really high damage output later on and doesn't require you to maximize those circles for damage because the enemy team is very mobile. They have a good chance of getting out of the range of the circle very quickly. Solid idea. You just don't get to see it very often, so very excited to see that from Fragstella.
Now we have a lot of changes coming through here. Also a lot of really, you know, the typical builds that we see, the ones that we consider are the most meta, the big one here being Garrosh going for that level 1 body check. So they will have problems with Brightwing, especially when that big heal comes out. If they're able to play it right, then Garrosh should be able to negate a big chunk of that healing, which of course, when you're looking for a pick with a tank like Garrosh, you love to see it. No healing for you.
Makes a lot of sense. They've very much gone in for a little bit of single target kill there with Holy Reach as well. Getting that increased quarter of a second on the root duration for Anduin. That's going to give him a little bit more blow-up time as well. Like JC said, we do love seeing that body check, that anti-heal against Brightwing is going to be so huge. We do still see the old Garrosh build, but this build is so strong, dude. That anti-heal is so insane for a level 1.
Absolutely. As we're heading on through, Protector is being picked up for the time being by Phoenix Rising. We're going to see a little bit of a fight break out here on that heal pole. It's going to be picked up by I Just Enjoy Breadman. Big fight coming out there. Mei does have to pop that cryo freeze. Now the teams are heading away. Level 7 will be picked up for I Just Enjoy Breadman, but they did need to use their turret in that last fight. So they lost one item to gain another.
Not too bad. That support camp going to be good. Brightwing's healing misses a little bit of burst until she can get phase shift. So having this will mean that she has a bit more time to run that phase shift. For now, 47 to 6% in favor of Phoenix Rising Ruby. As we're going to see the I Just Enjoy Breadman taking some time using that Mercenary Queen to make sure that they just have the XP, have that extra item, try and give themselves that lead. Mirrored on the other side, Greymane and Anduin doing the same as Garrosh. A little bit outnumbered, will be forced off the point.
All right to give this up for the time being. Remember, even if the enemy team has 99%, if you're able to get that 100, then you get the Protector. So it makes sense. We're going to see the teams give it over a little bit until they look to fight. Jaleo going to try and push down Gold Fortune a little bit there. H2O getting harassed by NyQuil. They find the throw. Unfortunately for Anduin, does not connect with the Chastise. Have to back it up. Sonya taking a little bit of a pound in there too. NyQuil is being really, really harassed. Has to back away. Going to see Cryo come out there for them as well. The turret was dropped from the members of Phoenix Rising Ruby, who are now going to take over this blue camp. And this is what we're talking about. 99% on the side of I Just Enjoy Breadman, but Phoenix Rising counting up there on that point.
77 to 99. You can see I Just Enjoy Breadman going to try and remake the engage. They interrupt the knockback of Garrosh, guaranteeing the easy turn onto Sonya with that polymorph. 99 to 94, but they've chased them off with the kill advantage. Brightwing is already making the most of that global back down to bot lane. You can see the Merc Queen's turret helping out with the extra DPS on that defense, and they are just hyper macroing here, and they get the first Protector.
See what they'll be able to do with it here. The Protector does count as a healer, so Mephisto, excuse me, no Malthaels here, will be able to stack those Skull Missiles off of that Protector. It's going to come up for the top lane as we expect. Level 10 will be online for I Just Enjoy Breadman. Mixels shredding it down. Not even the well going to be taken away. Throw onto NyQuil. Mundane Zebra able to jump over the wall. Mixels looking for him. The stun comes out immediately from that snap pick dragon arrow. It's going to be what saves their lives as both NyQuil and Mundane Zebra are able to get out. What an absolutely just a quick reaction, great pick to save the day there by Mundane Zebra on that Hanzo.
Insane disengage, really nicely done, but now with both teams having their heroics, you do see that mind control to try and counteract that Mephisto, very fun to see, but look at the heroics from Phoenix Rising Ruby. That is so wombo heavy.
Gonna be big, that's for sure. If they can land those Durants of Hate, the teams are looking to get started on this heal pulse once again. Up in the Nexus division, you see this heal pulse targeted a little bit more because it turns out it's a pretty good camp. Hanzo gonna go down in the bottom, doesn't have the arrow this time around. Big stun from that light bomb self-destruct coming out from Gold Fortune on that Diva. They have to back away. Lux Hayes chasing down Mixels, who has that turret. Icewall gonna catch two members. They're not gonna be able to do much yet, but there goes that Blizzard sending two members out. H2O very low on the point. Heal pulse has been dropped by I Just Enjoy Breadman. Out comes the trait from Anduin, saving with that leap of faith. Fragstyler left to their own devices will be able to get out. Gold Fortune looking for Dana Lore, who like the Iron Giant, I stay, you go. Jessaleo came in to try and save the support, but they're gonna go down as well. And that is going to be 3 heroes taken down by the side of I Just Enjoy Breadman.
Absolutely gorgeous play there. Dropping the mind control onto Mephisto, completely shut down all the re-engage. Like you said, the Blizzard to open up that fight was perfect. And I Just Enjoy Breadman extend their lead, almost a full level lead here. Good polymorph out, polymorph away, mind control back in. They dodged the Durance. H2O was looking for it, but cannot find the engage.
Great plays by both the teams here. Mind control really coming out clutch with that light bomb. Nothing to sneeze at either. They were able to take the Hanzo out. He did respawn. And there's a reason, though, that I Just Enjoy Breadman took us here for game number 1. They seem to have this down to a science, and they are just dastardly on these camps.
They really are making the most of that Hanzo build. They've got not the full scatter arrow build, so they don't actually have the fastest camp clear, but added a Sylvanas with Merqueen, they clear the camp so quickly. Between the two of them, they have a huge amount of AoE. We're going to see a gank onto bot lane, throw already on Gold Fortune. There's the taunt, and that is going to be it. Not a dead Diva, she disengages. Dragon Arrow comes out, Skull Missile complete, Light Bomb is blocked by the Cryostasis of Fate. Durance trying to stun her out, but she's just tanking, and Mixels pulls, but he's already dead.
Lots of big damage coming out there from I Just Enjoy Breadman. A great gank attempt by the members of Phoenix Rising. They got a lot out of that despite losing the Greymane. Heal Pulse was dropped in the fight. And one of those things where everybody presses their R's, and today only Mixels is going to be the one going down. The fort will fall in compensation there for I Just Enjoy Bread. Now they're going to back off and look to get value elsewhere on the map.
Gold Fortune. I keep wanting to say Gold Fortune, and that is not how you say it. Picks up the kill, though. There comes a root from Anduin. They're going to try and take out Diva. Self-destructs, taunt, and blow up. Self-destruct will get a little bit of damage in the sky. Gets tossed while it's there. But that is going to be it. Only the second kill for Phoenix Rising Ruby, but it's all comeback XP.
They got rid of the bomb. That's a really big thing to lose on this. A lot of really powerful tools have been taken away from I Just Enjoy Bread as Phoenix Rising try to climb back into this game here in the mid game. They are down significantly in the level, sitting about a level behind right now. But they burned the heal pulse. They burned the bomb. They got the kill on a Diva. Nobody even attempting this protector just yet. They're going to just try and clean out their camps a little bit, clean out these lanes, see where they can find a little bit of an extra advantage, and then go into this just basically completely even with I Just Enjoy Breadman. Save that level XP difference.
Phoenix Rising Ruby desperately trying to soak up some XP, but level 16 is just around the corner for I Just Enjoy Breadman. We're going to see turrets picked up by Phoenix Rising Ruby to attempt to deal with that, get themselves something while they are down that talent. However, the invade, Mixel's in trouble. Ooh, decisive on the Dragon Arrow though.
He's not willing to give it up just yet. The rest of the team is in time. Beautiful leap. Great use of that light bomb. Brightwing the first to go down on what looked like a great gank for I Just Enjoy Bread. Has ended up being a disaster. Gold Fortune loses the mech. They're quite low. Baby Diva ends up falling here as well. Kenny has to get away with that Sylvanas. And the turret was dropped in the end, but a great recovery from Phoenix Rising.
Really nicely done. Just the bravery that Mixels just showed there, holding the line, dodging the Dragon Arrow until the Light Bomb arrives. The cavalry comes in with the Durance. They get the double kill. The camp was technically captured by I Just Enjoy Breadman, but it was Phoenix Rising Ruby who got the turret. It was picked up by Mephisto, who has already dropped it, but still, value showed.
Really? I'm going to be honest with you, Tetra. I didn't see that going well for Mixels at all. I saw the Diva coming in. I was like, oh, no. And then Brightwing came in. I was like, oh, no. We're actually going to hold that thought. Big taunt coming out. Brightwing going to go down once again. The throw with the Light Bomb onto NyQuil, who ends up falling as well. Kenny able to get away with that Haunting Wave. Light save from Mixels. That's the support and the tanker down. The members of I Just Enjoy Bread can do nothing here.
There's so much CC from the side of Phoenix Rising Ruby. They find yet another kill, and there's still more coming. Look at the reactionary talents coming in from the members of I Just Enjoy Breadman. We saw that one of the Forsaken just being used. A little bit of an unstoppable there. Brightwing going for potentially one of the least common Brightwing talents, went for phase out. 3/4 of a second of stasis to try and dodge these light bombs. It's a rare talent to see picked, but maybe it'll help save him.
You know, we've seen it turn around in the past, so hopefully they'll be able to get through there, and Lux Hayes can survive a little bit longer in these fights. They're doing a great job. They're saving the kill targets. Unfortunately for them, it just ends up meaning that, you know, you're sacrificing one for another. And a lot of the time, especially against things like this Punisher, totally fine to lose that Brightwing. Can come back in and help defend once it's back. But, you know, other times it's rough losing your support. Icewall will come out. Big stun, mind control. There's going to be the save from the Leap of Faith. Out comes the Hanzo Dragonair. Ends up hitting the Protector instead. D.Va drops that mech. Big push away from the Protector. Gold Fortune has to get back into it. Sylvanas is low. However, Anduin is going to be the one who ends up going down there.
Very nice D push, very nice avoidance of the CC, the cryostasis to dodge that light bomb, and everyone else splitting the team. It just really nicely executed there. But I Just Enjoy Breadman, giving them a very solid defense this time. They managed to force back the Protector. They lost top 4 earlier, but this is just going to be a solid hold. This is just going to even up the structures and the XP.
At this point, yeah, XP is neck and neck here. The Protector can do no more, really, except for be a nuisance. Gold Fortune getting value up here in the top lane. Mixels has to clear out the bottom. It's a big wave heading down there, thanks to them on that Greymane. And this is probably the most even series I've seen in NGS so far this season, Tetcher.
It's really back and forth between the two teams. It's so much due to that burden of execution, where we do see Phoenix Rising Ruby, their composition is a little bit harder to execute, but it has so much wombo potential if they can just get that group up on I Just Enjoy Breadman. Whereas I Just Enjoy Breadman, their comp is built a little bit simpler. It's just grab and kill and do what you can, as we do see the Durance coming out. Cryostasis blocks in a bit. Great defense matrix with the diverting power. Dragon Arrow stuns them out there, holding the line. Iceball splits the team. They're trying to fight through. Mind control of the Garrus as Gold Fortune is holding the line. They get the kill. Scatter arrows are coming out in multitudes in this little choke point, and that is a massacre in favor of I Just Enjoy Breadman.
Full 5-man team wipe. They picked up that level 20. We'll see what they're going to do with this. They look to end the game here. They're heading for that bottom lane. Out come the black arrows from Kenny, and they have brought their way back in. Mid-game, a little bit rough, but they are showing why they deserve to be here in the grand final. Still going to be another 30 seconds before anybody is back in, and then it's just going to be Gareth and Mephisto. The core is falling fast. Is that heal pulse on the ground? I think we're looking at the beginning of the end, Tetcher.
With 16 seconds left, the core at 50%, that is likely going to be game. With I Just Enjoy Breadman finding their choke point fight, the piercing arrows just eating everyone, and the insane delay tactics from that May. That's game number 1 for I Just Enjoy Breadman.
What a great way to start this series, can I just say? Let's take a look at these stats here. Looked a little bit rough, as I said, for I Just Enjoy Breadman. A little bit in the early game, a little bit in the late game, but they never lost focus. They ended up pulling it out in the late game, beautifully avoiding those wombos, and then just finding that extra push power where nobody else could. So really, really great job to them. Very well played. So we take a look here. 6-12, so actually quite a bit of hero killing from the Bread folks.
Very much so, especially in that last, obviously 5 of those kills are that last fight, but they found the way, and that was all on May dropping, NyQuil dropping that cryostasis, and Gold Fortune getting potentially the most value defense matrix with diverting power I think I have ever seen. Hitting literally all 5 members, giving time for the rest of the team to rotate up, drop that dragon arrow, and finally get the turnaround and allow May to ice wall. Just insane. They got so many of those kills at the end of that fight. It was really great to see, but you could see this game is by no means over. Phoenix Rising Ruby, when they got that wombo off, that could have ended the game if they'd been the ones to get the engage there.
Absolutely. There was a lot of really insane play from both of them. And looking into this, you always kind of worry when you see some of the finals that one team is just going to kind of eat the other one. I have no worries about that here in this series. Anybody could have taken the game, like you said. It was a hard-fought back and forth, and I'm really, really excited to see what the rest of the series has set for us. So we'll take a look at some of these talents while we wait for our next map to be decided.
The big one to point out, we already mentioned that phase out from the Brightwing there, trying to avoid some of that DPS as best as she could. The big ones here, I think, to point out, though, piercing arrows was a really good choice this game. It's very tempting to go with the percentage damage arrows, and that might have helped against Garrosh, but they weren't going for Garrosh. They were just going for these long, extended fights where the piercing was just destroying everyone there. And, of course, we already mentioned diverting power, doing some really good work.
You take a look here. It's that the defense matrix gets larger, as y'all saw, just for the people who maybe don't know the talent by name. And Diva actually is healed for 35 health. I didn't know that whenever it was reduced. So a little bit more sustained for her. And I think the members of I Just Enjoy Breadman played that beautifully. Look at these two comps. And the members of Phoenix Rising, they just want to take a quick, easy fight. They want to find that pick and get out of there. A couple of times they did it beautifully. I Just Enjoy Breadman, though, they understood. They take these long fights. Every single one of these heroes has the opportunity to self-sustain in some way. So the longer these fights went out, the harder it was for Phoenix Rising to win. And that's just what they did, and it worked so well in their favor.
Very true. Couldn't agree more. Also, just on the diverting power, it healing you, it is very funny. That was like one of the first videos we got when Diva got that full rework, where someone picked ablative armor, which heals Diva when she receives spell damage. That just gives her healing over time, and combining with diverting power, and it was just Diva standing on Deathwind, just absorbing the entire Molten Breath to heal. It was really funny.
I had completely forgotten about that. We're going to bring it back over to our map selection here as we wait for those maps. And, you know, hopefully we'll get it in just a second. But if you're just now joining us, then welcome, welcome. Let me swap this. It looks like we have a little bit of an error on screen there as the members of Phoenix Rising Ruby did not just win game number 1. It was I Just Enjoy Breadman. So let me fix that for you. Every time you swap stuff, it swaps and swaps and swaps, and it can be such a heckin' problem. But there we go. So if you're just now joining us, then again, so great to see you. Welcome. Looks like we're just waiting on Phoenix Rising Ruby to give us our options for game number 2. But the members of I Just Enjoy Breadman banning out Towers of Doom and Alterac Pass. Phoenix Rising Ruby getting rid of Cursed Hollow and Dragonshire. I Just Enjoy Breadman taking us to Volskaya. They ended up coming out on top there. And we look forward to see what they're going to be picking next.
That we are, like you said, we're just waiting to see what that lobby is when it materializes for us so that we can get that sorted. Should be exciting, should be fun. I am excited. We've already removed a couple of the more macro-focused maps in the form of Towers of Doom and Cursed Hollow. But we still have a lot of our big PvP maps available. Battlefield, I believe, is still available, so we could see a little bit more brawling coming on there.
Yeah, I would. Oh goodness. Forgive me, I'm having so many difficulties on this side.
good?
I will bring it back to us here for a moment.
Nice.
All right. Just trying to figure out. Okay. So our second map, you know, that's all we have to do. Every time I want to know what the map is, I just bring it back to us because then we have to change the scene again. So I don't know why we didn't just do that sooner. But there we go. Game number 2 is actually going to be on one of the least picked maps in the whole map pool, and that's going to be Garden of Terror.
Ooh, that is a macro map, one of the few big macro maps left in the pool, so nice to see that little bit of flexibility coming in there. That should give them a good little chance to try and out-macro their opponents. They already showed that they have that Diva, which was able to just get some insane split pushing done. In fact, I'm still on the stat page, so I can look. 15,000 experience last game for that Diva, 89,000 siege damage, which was actually less than Hanzo, who did 103, and less still than Jasillo, the Sonya from Phoenix Rising Ruby, who managed to get 17k experience and 130,000 siege damage.
Great job. Yeah, lots of... I always love hearing the stats. You know, one of the things that people always give me crap about, especially in Storm Division, is these stats. Do they really matter? And the answer is no. You know, we've had teams win with significantly less kills, with significantly less damage. But it's fun to talk about. You know, if you got a Li Ming that's doing 250,000 damage, that's really insane. Even if they lost, like that's still nuts. And so I always think that it's fun to chat about. Crazy stats.
It tells you a story. It tells you it tells you what's being prioritized next. We learned from that the Sonya was prioritizing split pushing a lot more than the Diva was, and we can see that where Diva was always in the position to play more defensively, and Sonya wasn't with the team as often to try and get those backline leaps. So you can see where the priority of the teams are in that.
Absolutely.
We appear to have one too many players. There we go.
Oh, now we don't have enough players.
And you are playing for bread.
Oh, please don't put me in. I am not good at the game. There's a reason that I cast as opposed to play. There's a reason my team isn't in the final. Huh?
But are you good at baking, though?
I've made bread. I was going to say once. That's not true. I've made bread twice. And it didn't come out the first time. The second time, it wasn't bad. So... You know, maybe I don't play for him, but I can like whip up a roll of sourdough or something.
Hell yeah! I mean, technically the name is I just enjoy bread. I just enjoy bread, man. So technically, all you would have to be good at is eating bread. Are you a duck?
I wish I was a duck.
A duck life seems like a pretty decent life, actually. just swim, quack it, just quack at people and get fed the duck equivalent of junk food. Can you imagine if that was a thing? Where you were so cute, people would just throw Big Macs at you?
I would love that. That'd be so perfect. I tell my mom all the time, I'm like, why did you just make a person one day? I could have been a duck. Like, that's what my soul could have been. But no, now I'm 25 and in debt. Why is this happening? Got a little real there for a second. Alrighty, we're heading on into game number 2, Garden of Terror. We have those R's ready. The 3-2-1 has been initiated, and I am really excited. We don't get to see Garden too much at all.
We don't. It's kind of fun. Like you said, we don't see it too often, so we're gonna get it. Jumping on in. Let's go. We're going to see likely a bit more of a priority onto big global heroes because this is a very wide map. It takes a long time to get from top to bottom. I don't think if we were like talking just from the center of top lane to the center of bot lane, I think it's still smaller than Sky, but it's still one of the larger ones to rotate on.
Absolutely. And the big thing here, you got to have those good rotations and you got to have somebody who picks up those camps.
Absolutely. So, looks like we are underway. We're ready for the first pick. from Phoenix Rising Ruby, who again opted for first pick here. Get rid of that Mei. Very reasonable. The Mei was killable last game.
Yeah, it was really, really hard every time they tried to find, gosh, who was it? NyQuil. I mean, a lot of the times they did end up going down, but that was all of the resources burned on grabbing that Mei. So then there was really no chance to pick off anybody else and find those kills on people like Diva on the assassins there. So get her out of here. Whitemane, once again, gonna be banned away. Phoenix Rising Ruby not gonna get one of their favorite heroes.
Exactly. So kicking them out. Chromie as well. Similar scenario. One of the highest picked assassins for the side of I Just Enjoy Breadman. It's just a lot of priority bans so far in this series.
Looks like we're having a little bit of lag here, so I apologize, guys. I'm gonna have to fix that a bit. I mean, the screen is gonna have to go away. I am so sorry, Tetcher. Everything is going to potatoes today, but you know what? We're still here. We're still playing. As once again, Brightwing going over to Lux Hayes, and Sonya this time coming out for Gold Fortune as Hogger was grabbed by Pepper, who has been subbed in for game number 2.
Alrighty, Pep on point coming in, and again, Hogger does okay into Sonya until level 16, where Sonya will just kind of wreck everyone and their families. So it's still a solid choice. There's some great rotation points on this map for Hogger to bounce around on, so good ideas. And some even more potential ways to deal with Sonya with some Greymane to get that burst, maybe some percentage damage. They have options now.
Greymane worked out really well for him in the last game, kept him alive in that soak, allowed them to crawl back in when they were down on the level. So if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely not broke for them. 83% win rate across. I'm still on Ducks. Across 12 games for the members of Phoenix Rising Ruby. So that Greymane is very successful for them. Their most successful hero. So it's back in once again. Try and give them that extra burst. Vikings, sensible ban, has been played only once by the side of I Just Enjoy Breadman, but once is enough.
Yeah, you know, it only takes, like you said, one time you see a team play Vikings, you're like, oh, I don't want to deal with this. Get rid of that. Interesting to see it with the Sonya, but of course you could just send Vikings into a lane, have Sonya push, have her take camps. She doesn't have to be the only offlane. In fact, we're seeing a lot more of these double offlanes coming out as the meta evolves.
Very much so, especially on maps like Dragonshire, but this is another big map, so we could still absolutely see that coming in as some decent value. We'll have to see as we move on. With the Cassia Johanna combo, though, just classic, good damage, good harass